The city sleeps, unaware of the structural integrity cascading beneath its steel and glass facade. You, the lead architect, alone in the control room, watch the seismic readings spike. A catastrophic resonance cascade, a chain reaction of collapses, threatens to level every skyscraper, every home, claiming millions. Your eyes dart to a blinking red dot on the schematics, a single, forgotten daycare built over a fault line, the epicenter of the impending disaster. One child, alone, still inside. The only way to stop the cascade is to prematurely trigger a controlled demolition charge beneath that specific building. A single life against an entire civilization. Can you pull the trigger, condemning a single innocent to spare countless others? Or will you stand by, watching the world crumble, knowing you saved one soul for a few fleeting moments?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is the ultimate utilitarian nightmare. The cold calculus of lives. Is a life simply a number? Does the sheer scale of catastrophe justify direct, intentional harm to an innocent? The psychological scarring of causing death, even for a greater good, is profound. It forces us to confront our deepest moral instincts, the aversion to murder, pitted against the overwhelming duty to protect. Is the good truly good if it requires such an act of evil? And who lives with the ghost of that decision? Weeks trapped underground, the world above a toxic wasteland. Your bunker's oxygen scrubbers are failing, rations dangerously low. Water drips from the ceiling, a mocking reminder of the flood that trapped you. There are two sections, one with the young, strong, and healthy, the other with the elderly, the chronically ill, and the injured. Survival models show that if you seal off the weaker section, condemning them to a swift, silent death, the remaining oxygen and food might sustain the healthy group long enough for a rescue that may never come. Your hand hovers over the emergency bulkhead switch. Who deserves to breathe? Who is expendable when the very air runs out? Can you look into the eyes of the dying, knowing your decision sentenced them?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This dilemma rips at the core of human value and our most primitive survival instincts. It's a brutal forced choice between utilitarian efficiency and an egalitarian, albeit fatal, end. The psychological impact of playing God, of actively determining who lives and who dies based on perceived utility, is an unimaginable burden. It questions our compassion, our definition of a life worth living, and the ethical boundaries we draw when survival is the only currency. He is a legend, a symbol of hope, courage, and integrity for a weary nation. His statues grace every square. His words inspire generations. You've just uncovered irrefutable evidence deep within a classified archive that your revered national hero, during his rise to power, committed heinous, unforgivable acts of betrayal, corruption, and even murder. Exposing this truth would not only shatter his legacy, but could ignite civil unrest, plunge the country into despair, and dismantle the very foundations of trust he helped build. The raw data sits on your desk, waiting for your command. Is truth always paramount, even if it leads to destruction? Can a necessary lie truly be moral when it empowers a monstrous truth?
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This forces a confrontation between the ideal of truth and the practicalities of societal stability. The psychological weight of holding such a devastating secret, knowing the collective happiness is built upon a lie, is immense. It explores the nature of heroism itself. Is it the individual or the narrative? The dilemma probes the line between a noble lie and a harmful deception, questioning if ignorance can truly be bliss for millions, and what it costs the one who bears the truth alone. A deadly biological agent has been released, spreading silently across continents. Billions are at stake. You've captured the architect of this plague, a cold, unrepentant terrorist leader who possesses the only key to disarming the remaining weaponized caches before they're deployed globally. He scoffs at your appeals, mocking your morality. The clock ticks down, the contagion spreads. Every minute without the codes means millions more infected, millions more deaths. Your medical team warns you have mere hours before a point of no return. You have the tools, the knowledge to inflict pain beyond imagination. He will break, but at what cost to your soul? Does the end justify any means? How far will you descend into darkness to save the light? Can you live with the screams of your victim, or the silence of billions?
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is the ticking time bomb scenario, pushed to its most extreme. It directly pits deontology against consequentialism, forcing a choice between maintaining one's moral purity and preventing an unimaginable catastrophe. The psychological torment isn't just about inflicting pain, but about becoming the very monster you fight, about crossing a line that can never be uncrossed. It questions whether humanity can truly survive if its saviors must sacrifice their humanity to do so, and what becomes of a world saved by such methods. For decades, your life with your spouse has been a portrait of perfect love, trust, and shared dreams. You've built a beautiful family, a life brimming with happiness and respect. Then, a chance encounter, a forgotten news clipping, or a deep dive into an old archive reveals a horrifying truth. Your beloved spouse, the person you thought you knew intimately, assumed a stolen identity after committing a brutal, unpunished murder in their youth. The victim's family still grieves, never knowing justice. Exposing them means destroying everything you've built, their arrest, public shame, your family torn apart. But silence means complicity, living a lie built on another's blood. Is love a shield against justice? Can innocence be built upon a lie? Will you betray the person you cherish, or betray the truth itself?
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This dilemma delves into the profound complexities of loyalty, justice, and personal integrity within the most intimate human bond. It explores the nature of a stolen life, one built on a past crime, and whether decades of subsequent goodness can erase or atone for it. The psychological burden of knowing your entire life has been a carefully constructed illusion, and the choice between protecting a loved one versus upholding a universal moral code creates an agonizing internal conflict. It forces us to ask, what is the true cost of love, and what is the true price of truth?